Very good morning, students. In the previous class, we have seen about OStream classes and what are the functionalities, what are the formatted and unformatted functions supported by OStream class. In this class, we'll discuss about. In this class, we'll discuss about iStream class, right? So, which is similar to OStream class. iStream class is typed as to basic iStream class here. It supports all input and formatted input and unformatted inputs, right? So in formatted input, what it does here, formatted input, what can be done by overloading the extraction operator here. So in formatted input, it converts text to form into an internal representation. So internal representation such as like 16-bit, 32-bit integers, 64-bit byte by double here. So there is which can be converted into required data types here. Whereas in unformatted input here, such as like it uses the functions, member functions, get line, read, etc. And it uses the characters as they are without any conversions here. However, you give the inputs, characters in the same characters which will read here. So the difference between formatted and unformatted input is in formatted input. So the input given input characters of text are converted into a form internal representation form, right? Whereas in unformatted, no, there is no conversion. As it is, whatever text you will give, that as the text will read by input functions here. That is a basic difference. Next comes to the flushing the input buffer, like how we can do the flushing the output buffer. So you know already flushing is nothing but cleaning the input stream, right, without any data here. So that can be done in iStream class. We have a function ignore function is there which supports flushing operation. So the ignore function will discard characters in input buffer. Suppose if any characters are there which is previously entered into the input stream or input buffer, so that can be discarded. That can be removed by using the ignore function here, right? So the syntax of the ignore function is simply you can see here iStream ampersand ignore n equal to 1 and delimiter. Delimiter represents the end of that character here. So read and discard up to n characters are delimited. So that means because n value we have given, which start suppose if n is equal to 1, which discards only one character. If n is equal to some 10, which can read and discard up to 10 characters from the input buffer, or we can until end of the file is encountered. Similarly, we have the another possibility is also there. Cin dot ignore. You can also call it as a another example here. Cin dot ignore numeric limits less than stream size maximum size here, right? So that means what here? This is basic example how we can use the ignore function in our program. So that can be this ignore can be called by using the cin. Cin is a predefined object of the iStream class, right? Because it is a predefined object, we have to call the ignore function by passing parameters. That is how many characters which is to be read and discard or maximum size here. So the flashing input buffer can also be done by using ignore here, right? So this is another syntax here. So similarly, next one is next topic is unformatted input output function. So we have the unformatted output function is put and unformatted input function is get and get line here, right? So the put function is a stream member function that can be used to put a character here, and the syntax of the put function is string ampersand put character C. So this is the here character which is to be printed onto the screen. This we have to pass as a parameter. So another example, another purpose of the put is put returns the invoking string reference and thus can be cascaded. So in this also we can use cout dot put one character can be printed here. So if you want to print the multiple characters, you can cascade it. Cout dot put of a dot put of b dot put of p dot put of exclamation, or you can also directly print the this digit also. Cout dot put 65. So in this way we can do here. These are unformatted output functions. Similarly, we have the unformatted input functions. We have the get line, right? So the input function is get function. So which reads a character and returns as integer. or it returns end of file. So similarly, its general syntax is istream ampersand get characters ampersand c here. So which reads the character from the input string and pass it to the program here, right? Returns invoking istream reference. So istream get, this is another syntax here. So c string input. So that means which reads get n minus one characters or until delimiter. So that means which reads up to n minus one characters or until some delimiter is encountered here. That is delimiter slash n here. And getLine function, the getLine, it is same as get here, but extract and discard the delimit character from the input string. Uh, Extract and discard the delimiter character from the input string. That is, suppose if it is a delimiter slash x, so this can be discarded from while reading here, right? So this is one example code which we can use to read the text file until EOF is occurred here. This loop will be repeated until entire file is read here. Okay. So next we'll see. I'll continue the next session. Thank you.